Hey everybody, I'm going to be teaching second part of Father of Delight today. And what a privilege to be a masculine force for the good. Fathers will always impact their children for better or for worse. Dr. Joseph Nicolosi, a fave rave of mine, I'm referring here to the senior, not Joe Jr., who's no slouch himself. Look him up at reintegrativetherapy.com. Really worth a look. But this Dr. Nicolosi, the father of Joe Jr., casts vision for that good of fathering by powerfully describing salient fathers as dads who leave a mark, not through misuses of power, but by strong alliance. Fathers whose force is long-term, focused advocacy of a son or daughter empower that one to successfully face life's challenges. Having sex is easy. The real test of manhood is salient care of the one fathered. Let's talk about some of these attributes as I started last week. Father loves a person. Each of my 4 children is different. Though I may desire Jesus-centric virtue for them all, each is a distinct personality that perceives and processes my input differently. An apt parallel of St. John Paul II's philosophy, of course, we know him through Theology of the Body, which combines personalism with universal moral reality. Yeah, the same rules apply to everybody, but must be contoured to each one, thus personalism. What does that mean? I must get to know the person who happens to be my son or daughter. In a way, he or she tells me who he or she is. Am I watching and listening for those cues? How a dad handles the super responsible child, for example, who tends to please, is different than how a dad handles the kid inclined to push limits at every turn. So I discovered the distinctiveness of my 3 boys and 1 girl. That meant spending time with each one, finding out what he or she liked, what made him cry or her laugh, what each one could readily or barely hear from me. I loved their range. I delighted in it, but also adjusted how I offered myself based on his or her difference. Father confirms and envisions. The masculine voice confirms the good, true personhood of each child. That applies to sexual identity, one's unique expression of maleness and femaleness. A father can help him or her to integrate interests and goals with biological sex. It's not that hard. Blessing the child's distinctly masculine or feminine attributes as they shine through relationships, skills, and interests helps build confidence. Relatedly, I learned how to encourage each one when I could see that he or she was deflated a bit due to peer injustices. Each kid suffers a bit, and any father with a memory has too. One's own stops and starts can help. Search him or her out when he or she languishes. Remind him or her of their real value and dignity that no one need take away. Slings and arrows of rejection hurt, but fatherly encouragement can empower another launching out. Similarly, when I saw self-defeating patterns of thought or action in my kids, I would challenge them. How? By urging him or her not to quit the team, to work a little harder at school, to stretch a bit. Best way to encourage good action, confirm real strengths and aptitudes. Every kid has them. A good father knows what these qualities are and reminds him or her when he or she is settling for less. The father refines. The truth is, kids do tend to settle for less. Whether taking on an LGBTQ identification, a pot addiction, or porn, subpar relationships, or gaming instead of studying, kids veer off. A father can best intervene by raising the bar a bit and reminding the child what will best serve him or her. Porn and rainbow culture poison original dignity. Pot demotivates. Subpar friends and intemperate habits dull otherwise bright kids. Keep envisioning him or her. Kids lose sight of that vision. Pray a lot. Speak a little. A father is a co-creator, which gives us authority to challenge gently a child who isn't aspiring to what's better. Pray more. Speak again. Mom and dad need to partner in parenting, submitting to each other. While mothers tend to protect the child, the father may need to challenge. Don't settle. As parents, give each other the grace of different rhythms. Fathers own force. Masculine presence is strong. Our voices and bodies can be intimidating. I've been surprised by the recollections of my kids that I scared them at times. Self-awareness 101. I just have a lot of power in their eyes, so I need not ratchet up the tone or the look. Meekness helps. A quietly confident father doesn't have to play G.I. Joe or Hercules. Finally, fathers keep fighting joyfully. A child, no matter how old, belongs more to God than any human parent. In that way, he or she is inviolable, protected from being fully known by his or her parent. Only God fully knows the child. So rejoice in some authority and a lot of powerlessness, entrusting that child to the Father of all living. It's not over. The child is a work in progress who will continue to grow and fail and stall and surpass his or her parents. Empower what's weak, plead blood over blind spots, rejoice in beauty and real strength. Praise the one who entrusts us with a solid, limited share in his treasure. Thanks for listening.